Do you ever feel like no matter how much you work on yourself, people still find a way to make you feel like you're not good enough? I'm gonna keep it real. The truth is that the only thing that matters is what you believe about yourself, and the world treats you accordingly. When you build a strong self concept and you believe in who you are, nobody's opinions are gonna shake you. No one. And that is the real magic. Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bahja. If this is your first time seeing my face, then hey, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, like always, it is such a pleasure and an honor to have you here with me. Today, we're going to be talking about self-love, and not the cringy type of self-love, not the I love myself cliche type of self-love. Today, we're going to be talking about the real core of self-love, which is your self-concept. How you see yourself is the way that the world will treat you. Just like all of you guys, I grew up with insecurities, collected them over the years from the experiences that I've had as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, and just in general, as someone who is striving to reach their fullest potential. I have to continuously revisit my self concept and really reshape it in order for me to thrive. Not even joking. Just a few weeks ago, my self esteem was at an all time low, and I realized I had insecurities that I've yet to deal with. And I've been on the self development slash self love journey since 2021. And so it's been quite some time. But it's completely normal to discover parts of yourself that still need healing, parts of yourself that you never knew existed. That means you're growing, that means you're evolving and trying to step outside of your comfort zone, because you'll only realize a limiting belief exists when you're trying to step outside of your comfort zone. That's the only time you'll realize, oh, there's something that's holding me back. Or that's when you'll notice you have a certain insecurity that you probably never thought existed. And that's exactly how it was for me. So self-love is a journey. It is not just affirmations and face masks. It is a journey, and it's not an easy one. I'm not gonna lie, this video was actually inspired by one of you guys. I recently got an email from one of my subscribers, and I be reading your guys' letters. So I have somewhere on my website where you can write a letter to me, and I read them. I genuinely do, and it reminds me of my purpose. It keeps me grounded. But I thought I'd share a little bit of this letter with you guys. This letter made me so sad. It reads, Bahja, I've been struggling with how I see myself. I always feel like the ugly friend, and no matter what I do, I just cannot accept myself. I've tried to look better, but I still feel insecure. People can be so mean, and I just want to feel beautiful in my own skin. I don't even want to be gorgeous, you know? I just want to feel good about myself and be treated better. And girl, if you're watching this, I love you so much, and I hope that this video can serve as a guide so that you can feel beautiful and amazing and comfortable in your own skin. But this message is so real, and I know that there are so many of us who feel this way. It is completely normal to feel this way as well. In this video, I want to make you guys realize that the only thing that matters is what you believe about yourself, and the world will treat you accordingly. Even when you're beautiful, you might be treated poorly. Here's why it doesn't matter. I think it's really important to talk about this. Just because you feel beautiful and you have a very, very strong self-concept, there will still be people who come and try to tear you down. Even if you are glowing, working towards your dreams, you're absolutely killing it in life, you are leading a beautiful life, there will still be people who come around and try to make you feel bad about yourself, who try to tear you down, who will call you ugly, who will call you all these nasty things. And so I don't want to say that those things become inevitable, because they never do, okay? But the difference is when you have a strong self-concept and you have positive beliefs about yourself, those snarky comments will not affect you. If you are triggered by someone calling you ugly or calling you stupid or telling you you're not good enough, if that triggers you, that means deep down inside of you, a little part of yourself believes that to be true. Think about it this way. Imagine you have jet black hair and you're on the street and someone comes up to you and they're like, ew, you have the ugliest blonde hair ever. You need to touch up your roots. You're not going to be bothered by that comment. You might even laugh it off because that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I have jet black hair. Where do you see the blonde hair? That's because you have evidence that you have jet black hair. And it's the same thing with your self-esteem. Only when a part of you believes that that is true or that could be true can you truly be affected by a comment. But when you've created so much evidence for yourself and you have a very strong self-concept, these comments will not affect you. Also, let me tell you a little something about people who go out of their way to try to tear people down. They are the most miserable people ever. They are the most insecure people ever. Because when someone is very confident in who they are, when somebody has a strong sense of self, when somebody's just truly thriving in life and they are working on becoming a better version of themselves, they're working on things that just fulfill them in life, they don't feel the need to make someone else feel bad about themselves. Girl, they don't even have time to do that. And so when people come at you, you have to understand that they are, and I hate to say it, it's very cliche, but but they're definitely hurting inside. Hurt people, yeah. Yeah. So honestly, it all comes down to rewiring your brain. This takes time, this takes practice, this takes patience. Understand that this isn't a one-time thing. Self-love isn't a one-time thing where it's like, okay, well, I love myself. That's it. That's all it takes. But it's a journey. It is something that you have to practice all throughout life. You need to start creating evidence, proof that you are that girl by continuing to grow and evolve and doing things that make you feel good and make you feel fulfilled. The more evidence that you create for yourself, the less people's opinions will bother you. It doesn't matter if you're the most beautiful person in the world. There's going to be someone who comes along and says something hurtful. You know what I mean? And it's okay to feel some type of way, but it's working through that. And it's like, okay, wait, but why did that bother me? That's the whole point. When you are triggered by something, this gives you a signal that there are areas where you can grow. And that's exciting because now you can evolve, now you can grow. You have something to work towards that is meaningful and purposeful. Even though it's not the greatest feeling in the world and it hurts, it is a blessing in disguise. It allows you to see parts of yourself that you couldn't see before. So let's get into, I guess, the core of this video, the body of this video, which is rebuilding your self concept. This is where self-love starts. Not by trying to fix how other people perceive you and how other people see you, but it's rebuilding, reconstructing how you see yourself. Okay, once you do that, the world will just mirror that back to you. I actually have this entire activity built into my Notion template called Becoming Her. But of course, I'm going to be giving you guys every single step. We're going to go step by step. But if you guys want to check that out, just to have a place to kind of become the best version of yourself, step into your power, it is linked in my description. I also have my course called Rewrite Your Story in there as well, which goes a lot deeper into rebuilding your self-image. It goes deeper into your beliefs, where they stem from, how that affects your daily experiences, your future, all of that. And so if you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, you guys can check that out. It is linked in my description. Okay, now that I'm done putting myself on, let's get into step number 1, which is reflecting on your current self concept. How are you supposed to become the girl you want to be if you don't even know where you're at? We always got to start with reflection. What we don't talk about enough is how this can be extremely painful. And the reason why is because the beliefs that you have about yourself do not come from nowhere. They stem from your past experiences, sometimes your childhood. And so it opens up these wounds that you might have been ignoring. And that can be so painful. Oh my goodness. But it is all a part of the process. It is all a part of the healing journey. And if you're not able to confront that and work through that, then it is only going to hold you back forever. Literally, it's going to hold you back for the rest of your life from reaching your fullest potential. I remember tweeting about it once too while I was on this journey. I was like, it is so much easier to just ignore all these things, pretend like they didn't happen, but it is absolutely necessary. So some questions that you can ask yourself, journal about this. This is also all built into the Becoming Her Notion template, like I mentioned, but grab your journal, girl, because we're reflecting, okay? Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? And this can be in any category of life, I guess. Like, what do you believe about yourself? I'm not good at math. I'm not good at science. I'm not really smart enough. I know that was a belief that I held for a really long time. If you hold good beliefs about yourself, write those down too. Those are just as important as the ones that might be a little bit more negative, I guess, in this scenario of reflecting. I think when we reflect, we want to write down all the negative things, but also write down the positive beliefs that you might hold about yourself. So I know a positive one that I've always held about myself is that I'm very outgoing. There's other beliefs like I'm a burden, or I'm not a good friend, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or whatever it is. What are the beliefs that you hold about yourself? And then ask yourself, what are my core values? What do you value? You can also ask yourself, how do I speak to myself on a daily basis? Become an observer of this. How do you speak to yourself? What are some things that you say to yourself? And then ask yourself, ooh, this one hits. What do I feel like I deserve in life? Whether that's success, love, wealth, health? What do you feel like you deserve? And then ask yourself, do I secretly sabotage myself? Do I feel like I'm not good enough? And in what ways? And like I said, it can be extremely painful to realize that the beliefs that you hold about yourself usually come from external factors, your parents, your friends, your childhood teachers, your aunts and your uncles. Recognizing these things is the first step to reshaping, rewriting your story, revamping your self concept, which is what we're doing here. I guess step two is to really identify where your beliefs come from. I think being able to do this allows you to have a lot more grace with yourself, to show yourself a lot more grace, because the reason why you are the way you are, the beliefs that you hold about yourself, they don't just come out of nowhere. They're not just who you are, but it's the way that you've been conditioned. You don't even realize that something that your parent or your teacher or your friend or a situation that happened in the second grade with a boy, this is getting a little too in depth. It sounds a little personal. I'm kidding. But no, I'm so serious. Like, you don't realize that interaction that you had with a second grade boy could have shaped your entire self concept, which you navigate life with. When you realize that the decisions that you make, the things that you do, the people that you befriend, the type of success that you has all comes down to that self concept, the beliefs that you hold about yourself and the beliefs that you hold about life. It's like, dang, like, wait, maybe I haven't really been in control of my life. I haven't been really creating a life that is fulfilling to me, because I've been just moving through life and navigating life with these beliefs that come from external factors. So I'm not really living true to myself, but I'm living for everybody else. I'm living as a result of what these people have done and these people have said. And it's hard to break free from that, but then it's recognizing that and understanding that will help you give yourself grace and give you kind of like the motivation and the push to actually make a change in your life. Because it's not, oh, this is just the way I am. No, you can control this. So realizing that this is not entirely your fault is so healing and freeing in a way. Now, it is your responsibility. It does not lie on anybody's hands. You can't really blame anyone for yourself and your life and the way that it goes once you become consciously aware of this. Okay, and now let's get into the really fun and exciting part, which is building her, creating her, your ideal self. Creating a vision for yourself is something that is really important. And I talk about in every video, and I will really, truly never stop talking about those old beliefs that you hold about yourself. They will shape your life. So are you really in control of it? Because when you live a life where you create self-generated goals, you have a vision of where you'd like to go, who you would like to become, then can you move through life with purpose and intention. This is always really fun for me. It is time to create her, the hottest, most successful, smartest, highest version of yourself. Picture the version of yourself who is everything that you would like to be, who has everything that you desire. How does she live? How does she walk? How does she talk? How does she dress? How does she carry herself? What are the habits that she has? This is who you're going to work towards becoming. This is who you're going to work towards embodying. Moving towards that will change your entire self-concept. I always say it's really important to build the version of yourself that you would like to be across all areas of your life. So I break it down into categories: health and wellness. How does she treat her body? How does she move her body? What does she eat? Then career. What is her work ethic like? What career path did she take? How does she handle success? And how does she deal with challenges? The more in depth you can get with this image of yourself, the easier it is going to be for you to move towards that version of yourself. The next category is relationships. How does she approach relationships? Friendships, family, or a partner? How does she navigate those things? What boundaries does she set in her relationships? The next category is spiritual health and well-being. How does she stay grounded? I know with me, I'm very big on my religion. My spiritual well-being and my spiritual health is directly correlated and connected to how much effort I put into my faith, how much effort I put into my connection with God. What practices keeps her aligned with her highest self or her truest, purest self. The next category is mindset and mental strength. How does she handle stress? How does she deal with stress? How does she deal with negative thoughts? How does she deal with negative emotions? How does she handle these types of things? What is her mindset? Like, what does it look like? And then the last category is wealth and money. What does her financial future look like? How does she handle her finances? How much is she making? Like, literally every little detail that you can write down, write it down because it matters. By creating this vision, this version of yourself, you have something to strive for. You have something to work for. And when you have that, you will not be worried about what other people are doing, how other people view you, how other people see you, because you are building your confidence. You are creating evidence for yourself that you are that girl. And when you have that, nothing can touch you. You will know what to do when you have a clear vision. All you need to do is create the vision and take the first steps, which leads me to the next step, which is rewiring your brain from your current self to that version of yourself. It is very, very, very hard to get yourself out of this mental conditioning that you've been in for probably years. You're not going to practice this one day and the next day you're going to be a completely different person. This is going to take practice. You're going to have to pick yourself up every time you fall. Every time you go back to your old ways, the old patterns, the things that you know, you're going to have to show yourself grace. You're going to have to tell yourself, it is all right. I'm going to try again. Repetition is key. Repetition is key. We know that with everything. Repetition is key. In order for you to rewire your brain to recognize and become familiar with this new way of being, this new way of living, repetition is key. Neurons that fire together, wire together. The more that you do this thing consistently, the more you repeat this thing, your brain is going to start recognizing this as, this is just who I am. This is my lifestyle. You're not going to struggle with falling back into old habits because you are not that person anymore. You're going to get to a point where you don't recognize that old version of yourself. It'll come, but you have to be patient and walk through this journey. You got to crawl sometimes. There were times in my journey where I couldn't break out of my negative mental cycle. There were times where it was so overwhelming, the changes were so overwhelming that my mind would just race. I felt like I had no control over myself. I felt like I had no control over my mind. Those were the hardest days. They were really tough. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Okay, this journey is not easy, but it is so worth it. But I want to share with you guys some things that have helped me navigate through that, some things that have helped me pull through those hard days, some things that has made it easier for me to stay consistent on this journey. One of the things that has really, really helped me, and I know it sounds ridiculous and I know it sounds crazy, is whenever your mind is filled with self-doubt, when you can't see past your current circumstances or your past, the greatest tool that has helped me is writing a letter from my future self. What this does is it helps you, it pulls you out of your emotional state and it allows you to gain perspective from the most successful version of yourself. And you know what's crazy? You always know what to say. You always know what you need in this moment. I would write out exactly how I feel and what I'm going through. I would write, and then I would write back to myself. I would write to myself from my highest self. And for some reason, every single time I knew exactly what I needed in that moment. I would gain so much clarity and perspective by just letting my future self speak to me. She always knew what to say, but that was just me. There's a part of you that knows exactly what you need in this moment, but sometimes you can't access that and you can't reach that because you're so overwhelmed with emotion. But when you start writing to yourself from your future self, the most confident, the most successful, it really helps you tap into that inner wisdom that you have. So the next time on your journey where you feel overwhelmed, where you feel anxious, or you're struggling with self-doubt, then write a letter from her. Write a letter from your future self. Allow her to give you advice. Allow her to reassure you. Allow her to show you some love. This practice will help you build self-trust and self-love and really remind you of your own wisdom. The next piece of advice that I have for you is replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations. So something that we do in the Becoming Her in Notion template is once we do the reflection of our current self-concept, we create the self-concept that we would like to have. So what would we like to believe about ourselves? How would we like to speak to ourselves? And then we take that and we turn them into affirmations. You have to guard your mind, okay? The way that you speak about yourself is ultimately what you'll believe about about yourself, right? So when you replace these negative thoughts with positive affirmations, what you're doing is you're reinforcing these positive beliefs. And the more that you repeat them, the more that you take action towards becoming the best version of yourself and moving in that direction, the more evidence that you build for that belief. Once you have enough evidence for a belief, it becomes a core belief. It becomes a part of who you are. It becomes how you navigate life. It becomes the lens in which you view the world. And ultimately, that will become what you experience in life. I just went on a little rampage there, but yeah, your affirmations are really important. You know, at first you might not believe it. It feels unnatural. It feels a little bit silly, but it can really make a huge difference when you have that positive self-talk. When you go from saying I'm not good enough to I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm capable, like that. I know it sounds silly, but it can make such a huge difference. Just like when you tell a little kid you're ugly or you're stupid, and that can stick with them until they're 25, 30, 40, 50. When you tell yourself these affirmations, it can stay with you for a really long time. It can become it can become ingrained in your belief system, and that could get you so far. So create a affirmations list that resonates with your highest self, that version of yourself that you'd like to become, that future self. And anytime you feel those negative thoughts coming in, replace it with those positive ones. Okay, the next tip that I have for you, and you guys already know how I feel about this if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, but vision board. Okay, vision board. We need to make a vision board for this version of yourself that you are trying to become. Go on Pinterest, buy yourself a physical board. Whatever you want to do, get on Canva, pick photos that resonate, that how does she look, how does she live, what does her lifestyle look like. It's not just about what you want it to look like, but also what you want it to feel like. So take pictures that truly resonate with who you would like to become. Okay, I'm getting real excited about this. Pick pictures that resonate with you, with who you would like to become, with who you would like to embody, the energy that you would like to give off. Put it in a board. Make it your lock screen on your phone. Put it somewhere that you can see. Put it somewhere where you can remind yourself, this is what I'm striving for. This is why I'm going to the gym every morning, even though I don't want to go. This is why I'm straying away from sugar, even though I really want to cook it right now. Girl, this will keep you in check. This will keep you aligned with your goals and the life that you are trying to live. Another little silly one that I have for you, but is a really helpful tool, is the high five habit, created by Mel Robbins. You guys can look into it deeper. She has like videos on it, podcast episodes on the high five habit. She has a book on it where she goes a lot into like the science behind it, why it works. But all you do is you wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you give yourself a high five. It takes like 2 seconds. It sounds so silly, but the small act of acknowledging yourself, of saying, hey, I see you. I see you. That makes such a huge difference in the way that you view yourself. So make it a daily practice to give yourself a high five in the mirror every morning while you're brushing your teeth. High five. It's quick. And it's a great way to show yourself some love. The next tip that I have for you is to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Okay? Take little small steps towards becoming this version of yourself. Set small weekly goals, set small daily goals, and you already know how I feel about monthly goals, okay? Move towards this version of yourself. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding? What have I not been doing? Am I too afraid to go to the gym? Am I too afraid to post a video on TikTok? Am I too afraid to shoot my shot? Am I too afraid to shoot my shot? Am I too afraid to go in front of the class and present? Do it. Do it. Make it your mission to do it. Push yourself past that comfort zone. Push yourself out of there. I'm gone. Identify an area of your life where you've been holding back a little. Ask yourself, what can I do every single day to move towards that? What can I do today to move towards building my audience on YouTube? I sat my butt down today and I filmed this video. By doing little things that will help you move towards that version of yourself in all areas, just doing one small thing every single day to move towards that is moving past your comfort zone. And so acknowledge that. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Acknowledge the actions that you've taken daily. That builds confidence. That's how confidence is built. The way that you view yourself is going to start to change. All right, let's talk about finding confidence in the process. We want to feel more confident in our appearance, and that is completely valid. But I will say this one thing, and I know you guys are not gonna like to hear this, but true beauty, okay? True beauty radiates from within, and that comes from from the way that we feel about ourselves first. And when you work on becoming a better version of yourself, and you work on becoming that highest version of yourself, that future version of yourself that you envision, yeah, she might be more fit, and she might have clearer skin, and she might have the most perfect hair and things like that. But when you are moving towards that goal, when you're actually putting in the work, okay, I'm not talking about when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, but when you actually show up, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, even when you don't want to, that builds confidence. And that confidence speaks louder than anything. That confidence will be recognized. That confidence will be noticed. When you walk with that confidence, I promise you the world will see that. They will see that and they will respond to that. And I know it's very cliche and it's very cringy, but when you truly love the person you are and the person you're becoming and where you're headed, you will see that being reflected in your outer appearance. It'll show. You will no longer measure your worth, your self-worth, by whether or not you're getting attention from boys or what they're saying or what the girls are saying or how many likes you get on Instagram or any of that. You will no longer measure your self-worth to any of that. You are going to realize how amazing you are. You are going to realize how incredible you are, and nobody can tell you nothing. The only time that you will feel bad about a comment that someone makes is when you have healing to do, and that is not a bad thing either. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. That's just shining a light on an area where you can grow. And when you're focused on that, you won't care about what other people think of you. And that is what it's like to truly be free. That is what it feels like to truly love yourself. Self-love is not about perfection. It's not about being perfect, but it's about making progress. That is all that I have for you guys today. I love you guys all so much. Let me know in the comments what you guys are going to be doing to step into the best version of yourselves. What does the highest version of yourself look like? The hottest, most successful, smartest, wealthiest version of yourself look like? Let me know. I love you guys all so, so much, and I hope to see you guys next time.